What's a household hack you thought everyone did, until you found out it's just your weird family? Growing up, I thought every single family had what my mom called the flavor bank in their fridge. It was this sacred bottom drawer that nobody was allowed to touch without permission. My mom would slide old takeout containers, half-eaten casseroles, and leftover pasta into this drawer like she was making deposits at some kind of food museum. She had all these rules about it, too. You couldn't eat anything from the flavor bank unless she specifically told you to. You couldn't throw away anything in there without asking first. And most importantly, you had to respect that the food was developing character down there. When I was little, I figured it was some genius cooking technique that adults knew about. My mom would always say things like, "The flavors need time to marry," or "Good food gets better with age, just like wine." She'd even talk about how the older dishes would help season the newer ones, like some kind of magical flavor transfer happening in that bottom drawer. Sometimes when money was really tight, Mom would suddenly announce that tonight was flavor bank night. She'd pull out 3 or 4 containers, heat everything up together in this giant pot, and call it her signature surprise stew. The weird thing was, it actually tasted pretty good most of the time. I thought she was some kind of cooking wizard who could make these amazing mystery meals out of random ingredients. When I moved into my dorm freshman year, the first thing I did was claim the bottom drawer of the mini fridge as my flavor bank. I started collecting leftover pizza, half-eaten sandwiches, and random snacks down there. My roommate Jake thought it was weird, but I explained that it was for building flavor depth over time. Jake kept asking questions about it, but I just told him he'd understand when he tried the food later. I was planning this big flavor bank feast for when we got back from Thanksgiving break. I had containers down there from September that I was really excited to finally use. But when I came back from break, Jake was standing by the fridge with a trash bag, looking green around the gills. He'd thrown away my entire flavor bank, all 2 months worth of carefully aging food. I was furious and started yelling at him about ruining weeks of flavor development. That's when Jake grabbed my shoulders and looked me dead in the eye. "Dude, that wasn't aging. That was rotting. There were things growing in those containers that looked like science experiments. One of them was moving." I tried to argue with him, but he pulled out his phone and showed me pictures he'd taken before throwing everything away. The smell alone made me gag when he described it. That leftover Chinese food from September? It had turned into some kind of fuzzy green soup. The pizza from October was completely black with mold. The worst part was when Jake started connecting the dots out loud. "Wait, does your mom actually eat this stuff? Like, does she really cook with rotten food?" And suddenly everything clicked into place in the most horrible way possible. All those signature surprise stews weren't culinary masterpieces. They were my mom's desperate attempts to use up food before it went completely bad. The flavor bank wasn't some cooking technique. It was just my mom being too overwhelmed to clean out the fridge and too guilty about wasting food to throw anything away. I called my sister that night and she just started laughing when I told her about my dorm room flavor bank. "You actually thought that was normal? Mom just hates throwing food away and never cleans the fridge. We've been eating borderline spoiled food our whole lives." The next time I went home, I looked at that bottom drawer with completely new eyes. My mom was pulling out a container of something that might have once been spaghetti, sniffing it carefully before deciding it was still good. I realized she wasn't a cooking genius. She was just broke and stubborn and probably gave us all food poisoning at least 20 times growing up.